Maid2Clean is a management franchise in the domestic service sector. We look after a number of domestic cleaners who are looking to work for individuals in their homes, and we also manage the other side of the equation, finding them the relevant work areas. After a number of years, 10 years of running the business and a number of conversations with our accountant, we decided that we had a replicable business model that outperformed most of the industry, and decided that franchising was the right thing for the business to do. The first step was a conversation with the bank manager and the accountant, and to seek out a franchise consultant that could take a ready-made business model and convert that into a franchise system that could be readily sold and made available and replicated throughout the UK. In addition to that, to create a comprehensive operations manual that could be followed alongside a training program and support infrastructure that franchisees would expect once they've paid for a franchise model.
My name is Sue Hall. I'm Managing Director of Maid2Clean Suffolk and also Maid2Clean 120, and currently I'm Franchisee of the Year for Maid2Clean.
I'd always fancied working for myself. I always wanted to be my own boss. I know many people say it, but with me it was an obsession more than anything else. And the management in the pottery industry in particular was getting harder. The pottery industry was dwindling in numbers. There were many redundancies. It was a difficult time, and the management probably suffered more than everybody else. So the opportunity came for me to take redundancy, and I finished, and I looked around, didn't know what to do, but I made my mind up that I wanted to work for myself. I looked at starting my own businesses. I went into it quite deeply, but to be honest, the success rate of standalone businesses is quite poor. In fact, it's alarming. I was told something like 90% of standalone businesses fail within the first 2 years. So although I wanted to work for myself, I wanted some security. So I delved into it a little bit more, got some more information, and franchising started to appeal to me. I went to a franchise exhibition, picked up a load of information. I came back armed with 2 big carrier bags, but unfortunately that probably asked me more questions than he answered because I did not know what sort of franchise. So I spent a little bit of time researching it, and eventually I decided on the Maid2Clean franchise. It suited me. It was a sort of franchise I wanted, a management franchise, not a hands-on franchise. I'd been in management all my life, so I didn't, at the age of, I think it's 55 at the time, I didn't fancy getting my hands dirty. So I wanted a management type franchise, and I decided on Maid2Clean.
The franchise opportunity just was something that I stumbled across while I was, doing, and I thought actually that fits really, really well, because I'd done my list of pros and cons. What gives me pleasure, what do I enjoy doing? Let's try and narrow it down so I find out what I'm meant to be doing. But my age was also another consideration. I was sort of, I was in my 50s, and I certainly didn't want to work for anybody else now, even if they'd have me. So working for myself, but not on my own, was the key. So franchise was a great kind of compromise there.
Joining the BFA was a big decision and an expensive one for Maid2Clean, but in the long term it's paid dividends. We wanted to demonstrate to the market that Maid2Clean was the right business model and an ethical one to invest in. And so we decided to apply for full membership for the BFA, and we went through their stringent criteria. Unfortunately, we came out the other side. And joining the BFA has certainly helped us sell franchises, as they know, people know now that they're dealing with an honest and ethical franchising system that adheres to the European Code of Franchising Ethics. People want to buy into a secure brand, a trusted brand, and a name in the industry. People also want to buy a system that's been readily proven in the marketplace compared to setting up a business themselves, where they'd face a number of pitfalls, which Maid2Clean has taken out many of the pitfalls associated with the setup of the business. And so hopefully a franchisee, the deal is this: if they buy the business and they have problems, then it's my problem and I'll fix it. If they deviate from the system, it's their problem.
The brand was very well established for Maid2Clean, which is a big part of it. You know, you don't have to work hard to get recognised. It's a national brand, national company. The business model works. You know, if it didn't work, there wouldn't be other franchisees out there. But the delight is actually being able to run the business yourself with very little kind of, you know, structure that you have to follow. You get to put your own stamp on the business, so it feels much more like you own that business. And the cost was affordable. When I started looking at comparable franchises, once I decided domestic cleaning was where I was heading, you know, the cost obviously comes into account, and that was affordable.
Maid2Clean is a very flexible franchise in that no office premises are needed. So people trade from home quite happily, and it suits the lifestyles of mothers who look after young children, or retirees, or people that generally want a different lifestyle to the one that they've been accustomed to in a corporate life. The advantage as well of Maid2Clean is that a number of our franchisees do actually have full-time jobs as well, and they get round this by using call centre operations to handle the calls during the daytime, and they're emailed at lunchtime and in the evenings so that they can address client and cleaner questions when they finish work.
Initially, there's quite an extensive training. There's plenty of procedures we need to follow and legalities, as with any business. All this is explained in full. There's an operator's manual which we went through. So I spent a little bit of time training with the franchisor and also the ops director. But then after that, it's really down to yourself, because you are working for yourself. I didn't want to keep asking questions. I wanted the freedom to work for myself. With that comes making decisions. So yes, you do ring them occasionally and you ask their advice, and they're always at the end of a phone. But with experience, you need that fallback a little bit less, so you don't really need them as such. But it's nice to have them at the end of a phone. So to answer your question, another help and support that they provide is the fact, of course, that they're always trying to improve the global brand awareness, which obviously helps my business. If it's better known throughout the country, it'll help my little area in Stoke-on-Trent. So yeah, the support is always ongoing. It's there if you need it. But in all fairness, I've tried to manage without a lot of support, and I think it's helped me.
There's risks in every business, but with Maid2Clean, if an individual was going to be setting up their own domestic cleaning franchise, there's employment issues, there's staff costs, there's product costs, there's material issues involved in COSH regulations, and a number of pitfalls associated with the taxman in general. Maid2Clean has re-engineered via lean engineering a number of methods to reduce the risks to franchisees coming into the business.
I took the decision to be very hands-on with my business in the first year. I networked like Billio, and I still do network now, and I get a lot of referrals and cleaner applications as a result of it. People know what I do, and they know I look after the people that, you know, work with me. So my day might start with a breakfast networking meeting. So I'd get up very early, make sure the dogs go out in the garden and do what they do, and so promise I'll come back. Networking meeting might be followed by a one-to-one session with one of the people that I work with, and we can get deeper into each other's businesses then and find out how we can help each other.
Everyone within the franchise has a duty to uphold the standards of the business and to ensure that the marketing and professionalism is carried out uniformly throughout the franchise. Where deviations occur and escalations happen, it's my job to see that damage is minimised and the customer is satisfied.
First of all, are you ready to work for yourself? It's one thing saying that you love to be your own boss, but it's another thing actually doing it. When you work for someone else, you've got the chance to pass the buck, to blame someone else. When you work for yourself, you haven't got that chance. So you have to ask yourself, am I ready to accept the responsibility of working for myself? And once you've answered that question, you then need to say to yourself, can I sustain my standard of living while I'm building the business up? That's for you to decide. Once you've decided those two things, you've asked yourself those two questions, you've searched for the answers, and once you've answered them to yourself, you then need to start looking at the type of franchise, how much you can afford to pay for the franchise, and you know, is the franchise profitable? Is it suitable for what you want? Is it okay for the area where you live? All these sorts of questions you need to ask yourself. But until you've satisfied yourself that you can accept the responsibility of working for yourself and making your own decisions and not blaming someone else, then that's the crucial question to ask.
Certainly consider franchising. It's a method of being in business for yourself, but not by yourself, where you are taken without any previous knowledge or industry experience and taken into an arena where you follow a predefined business format that enables you to make money profitably and ethically.
The benefits of a franchise are not just the support that you get, but the fact that you've got this proven business model, and as long as you can follow instructions and then put your personal stamp on it, you're going to succeed, because the statistics will tell you always that the new businesses really struggle and most of them fail, you know, and with franchises it's just not the same set of stats at all. They usually do succeed. But I took the decision not to be a hands-on cleaner. I've always had a cleaner, which is why it makes people laugh now when I say I can't stand cleaning. People say to me, well, how have you got a cleaning agency? And I say, because I can't stand cleaning. So I spend my life looking for the people who do like it and, you know, putting them with the people who need it done.
Maid2Clean has relationships with all the major banks, and particularly those associated in the franchising industry. We will put them in touch with our contact at the bank and they can apply directly for loans. Generally speaking, 70% loan to value is granted to all applicants subject to status.
I looked at various businesses and franchises, and I did start off with a franchise that was totally unsuitable and lost a lot of money on that, unfortunately, which then got me to looking at other franchises. So where I felt that, you know, my particular skill sets were going to be more suited to. So looked at a lot of cleaning businesses, including Maid2Clean, and a few other things as well, but mainly cleaning.
Banks really like franchising because it's low risk to them as well. They've seen the cash flows. We have now 100 plus franchisees that produce accounts from chartered certified auditors, etc. each year, and they're comfortable with the Maid2Clean model and loaning against the system.
At the moment, it's quite busy because we need another a member of staff to help with the admin. So at the moment, I'm helping with the day-to-day work of the business until we get someone else on board. But before that, I was very much sort of taking a back seat to the business. So we have had a full-time administrator doing the day-to-day work, and also my wife helps out with that. So I'm more in the background doing the development of the business, thinking of new ways to advertise the business, that sort of thing, really. So it's quite varied. At the moment, until we get a new person, though, it's so busy that I'm helping out with the day-to-day running of it.
Leafleting and recruitment can actually cost money alongside external advertising such as Google AdWords and through various sources, poster advertising for instance. But in general, most people recover the costs within their initial franchise fee.
Now, because I've got my area established, I've got to the level now where I'm just levelling off the business. So I don't actually put that many hours in now. If you'd have asked me that question a few years ago, it'd been a lot more hours. But these days, my routine basically is I get up in the morning, I go onto my computer, I answer emails, answer messages that I've had. I then go out and probably interview a cleaner or a couple of cleaners. The afternoons are spent free time, basically. Then in the evenings, I go to see the customers. But in total these days, it's a question if I'm working any more than 15, 16, 17 hours a week. It really is. Whereas when I started the business, I was out delivering leaflets, I was out canvassing, I was out doing presentations at all people's homes and all this. And I don't do any of that now, because right now I'm at the enviable position where I'm just trying to level off but maintain my standard of living.
Essentially, many franchisees do not need qualifications to run the specific business as training would be given. In certain franchises, for instance accountancy franchises, then an accountancy background is certainly preferable. But in Maid2Clean we have successful franchisees who are ex-cleaners, ex-solicitors, ex-accountants and ex-middle managers. A successful franchisee, more importantly than anything else, needs to have a desire to run their own business, fire in the belly, not frightened of hard work, determined, and someone that will operate the business within a structured guidelines. And the deal is this: you follow the system, you'll make money. If they fail and have problems, then it's my problem, I'll fix it. But it's the same as you would not buy, for instance, a McDonald's and decide to sell a line of women's clothes in the window. It's not broken, don't fix it, don't change it, follow the system and you can make money.
The benefits of a franchise, I would say, were more of you have more of a lifestyle choice. So you've got more control over your destiny. So I know within Maid2Clean a lot of people want to run it themselves, and that's fine. You've also got the option of running it as a management business, employing people to do the administration, and then you can sit back without you working on it full time.
You have to have a tangible business model that's replicable, a number of pilots, preferably at least one pilot operation, and certainly experience in the industry. If you haven't got experience, then the right franchise solicitor, accountant and lawyer all come into effect to make sure that you set up ethically and profitably from day one.
People that say they've had a payoff and a redundancy payment, and I'm in there, what are you going to do with that? You know, they don't fritter it away, and you know, don't just think about, you know, going to work for somebody else straight away. You know, working for yourself gives you tremendous freedom and control, and it's about quality of life, which you can't have working for other people if you haven't got that control over your own time. And it's what we sell to people. Now, let's get some time back for you, you know, because you don't like cleaning, you know, let us help you. But it's the same for the franchisee, you know. Do you want a job, or do you just want a nice kind of part-time venture that gets you to a required level of income for you to enjoy quality of life?
Myself and my wife want to eventually take a back seat from the business, have a team of admin staff working on the business, so that we can eventually have it run itself effectively and more or less retire from it.
A franchise as opposed to standalone business, no question, it's going to succeed more, but it relies on the same amount of commitment and dedication and passion from you as to how you're going to run it, as to how successful you will be.